Hello soulmates, it is indeed a pleasure to have you today in my channel. My name is Melissa, and if this is your first time checking out my channel, you are absolutely welcome. To all those who have always been with me, you are welcome also. And today I'll be showing you how to sew your bell sleeve dress that we cut out in the last video. So these are the things that you're going to need. You're going to need your dress cut out using the pattern that we made, or if you drew on your fabric itself, you're going to need that. I went ahead and I also serged the end of my bell sleeve, and I also put interfacing. So I put interfacing on my facing, and I also went ahead and serged the end of it. You're also going to need your zipper. You could use a regular zipper, but I'll be using an invisible zipper. And you also need your zipper footer and your seam ripper if necessary, and also your wonder clips or your pins. The thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to work on the back. So this is the back of your dress, and the first thing you're going to do is that you're going to transfer the darts. So I went ahead and I did the darts at this point, right? So to make it visible, I'm just going to go ahead and redraw my dart at the back, so that when I'm sewing it, I know where the dart is positioned. So that the dart at the back, I'm also going to transfer it to the other side. So there you have it. And I'm going to do the same here. So those are my darts. Ensure that it is 1 inch, so as not to take away from the measurement that you're working with. So now what I'm going to do, before I do anything, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to insert my zipper at the back. So I'm going to take my 1 inch seam allowance. I'm going to iron my 1 inch seam allowance all the way, and when I reach to this part, remember there's a lap, it's going to be 2 inches. So I'm going to take that all the way down. I'll do that and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like when I took my 1 inch. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to insert my zipper. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, because I just want to get it out the way, and then I'll show you what to do. Okay guys, so I went ahead and I inserted my zipper. Okay, so what I did was that I finished up my seam all the way down to here, to where the lap starts, and then after that I used the basting stitch and I finished the lap. Okay, so I hope you understand that. I finished up to the lap and then I used the basting stitch to finish. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead. So this is what the zipper looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and take in my darts, my 1 inch darts at the back. Okay, and also at the front of my pattern, I'm going to sew the princess dart at the front of my pattern. And after I do that, I'm going to iron my darts down. Okay, so let me just show you what I'm going to do. So this is the front of my skirt, my dress rather. I'm going to take it to the sewing machine, and I'm going to first put right sides facing each other. So this is the front part, okay? So I'm gonna put it like this. So this is the front, and I'm gonna start stitching from the tail of the skirt. Do not start stitching from the armhole, because what you'll find is that you're going to have some problems when you're supposed to do the curve. So start sewing your dart from the tail. After I sew my dart, after I take the darts in, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to iron the darts down, and then I'm going to serge the areas so as to let the darts sit properly. And when you reach to this area, be very careful, because now you're sewing a curve, okay? Pin yours down very well. When you reach here, you can make some snips, okay? Make some snips so that you could sew it properly. This is supposed to match perfect, if you notice, when I pin it together, because you went up by 1 inch. It's supposed to match perfect like this, okay? So ensure that yours is that way. So now I'm going to take my darts in, then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay guys, so I went ahead and I finished my darts at the front and also at the back, and I also ironed them down. So this is what we have so far. Okay, so at the dart leg, you're supposed to have this. This is what you're supposed to have after you finish your seam. You're not supposed to have any shortage in any of the seams. If you went up by 1 inch, as I showed you, then you will not have that problem. So what I went ahead and I did was that I ironed my seam, and what I used my trusty old ironing ball to put under my princess dart. So I did this when I was ironing, and I opened the seam first before I serged, and I ironed it down so that it could stay nice and flat. So if you want to see how I made this, then just leave a comment in the comment section and let me know if you're interested in making one for yourself. If you are interested, then I will make a video on how to make this ironing ball. Okay, so what I'm going to do, usually I would tell you to join your shoulders together and then you put your facing on your dress, but today I'm going to show you a different method that you could use to finish your neckline. So as I said, I usually tell you join your seams together at the shoulder, but today I'm going to show you a different way to achieve this. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take my front and my facing, and I'm going to put right sides facing each other like this. Okay, and I'm going to take my 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around. Okay, ensure that they are the same in the middle. Depends on whatever neckline you do. I did a V-neck this time around. Right, so that's that, and I'm also going to do the same thing on my back. So at the back, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna open my seam like this. Okay, and I'm going to put my facing from the edge. So I'm going to sew it from the edge like this all the way to this part. So I'm going to, okay, sure that you get it right. Then after I do that, I'm going to notch it and then run a top stitch. So after I sew it down all the way around 1/2 inch, I'm going to snip it all the way around. Then I'm going to sew about 1/8 of an inch on the facing. So I'll do that and I'll show you what it looks like, what to do next. Okay guys, so this is what I have when I attach the facing to the dress. Okay, so this is what you're gonna have. All right, so this is how it looks at the front. What you're going to do, you're going to trim all of that and iron down the seams. Iron it down, press it, give it a nice iron for it to look like, so this is what you're supposed to have. Okay, so now what you're going to do after you iron your seam, you're going to take the back, right? You're going to take your back, so this is your back, and at the shoulder you're going to put it together like this. Put the shoulders together like this, okay, right? And then you're going to flip one over the other like this. Flip one over the other like this, and then you're going to take your 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I hope you understand what I just did. So you're gonna put the shoulders together. You notice mine match perfect. But then you're going to take this and then you're going to flip it over like this, over each other, and then you're going to take your 1/2 inch, and I'm gonna do that for both sides. Okay, and so mates, this is what we have so far. So this is what it looks like when I attach the front to the back. Personally, I like the other way of doing it, but this is okay also. If you like it this way, you could go ahead. If not, you could do the method that I've always showed you. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to take this baby home. I'm going to finish it up. So I'm at the back where your zipper is. All you have to do, turn it over to the other side like this, and then you're going to run a stitch very close to the zipper teeth, but not on the zipper teeth, or else your zipper will not close. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna sew this down very close to the zipper teeth. Then I went ahead and I pinned in my sleeves. So what I'm going to do, if you notice, my sleeves are matching, they match. They put the midpoint at midpoint, so that's it. The midpoints are at the same place. And then I'm going to fix my seam in. After I do that, I'm going to take my 1 inch seam allowance that I left, right here. I'm gonna take my 1 inch seam allowance all the way down to the bottom of the dress. I'll do all of that, and then I'll show you how I do the lap part of this dress. This is what I have so far. I stitched the sides of the dress and I finished the back also. So this is what the dress looks like. See how neat that is? And the sleeves are in. See that? They fit perfectly. See? My seams are perfect. So now what I'm going to do, so you see this dress is taking its shape. Right, so this looks pretty good, pretty nice. This is the front part. Okay. Okay, so this is the front part of the dress. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to finish the lap, and then I attach my, so at the lap area you're going to work at the front. Okay, you're gonna work on the front. you're going to work on the front of your lap. So what you're going to do is that you're going to put it together like this, and you're going to determine which part of where you want your lap to fall, if it's left or right. You're going to turn it over, that's on the front like this, turn it over on the front, and then you're going to make a stitch. I hope you can see this. Make a stitch all the way to the end of the lap on this part of the lap. So you're gonna make it all the way to the end, and then because you use the basting stitch here, because I should have told you, oh I did, I used the basting stitch, so I'm gonna pull the basting stitch out after I give it a nice crisp iron. So I'm gonna sew it all the way down like that to finish that. After I do that, the only thing that's left on this dress is going to put the bell sleeves on. So what I'll do, I'll just put it over like this and attach my bell sleeve to this dress. Then I'll finish the hem of this dress and also the end of my dress here. So I'll do all of that. The next time you see me, I'll be showing you how this dress looks like, so stay tuned. Okay, so this is the result of the dress that we made. I've attached my sleeves, my bell sleeve. The only thing that needs to be done to this dress now is a good trimming and a good press. So if you notice, I attached my bell sleeve and I serged it, and I also did the back of the dress. This is the lap area, just needs a good press and a good trimming. So if you find this video helpful, do not forget to give me a giant thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and like, leave a comment in the comment section. So until we meet again, and until I bring you another DIY, take care, God bless you, and all the best.